Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and a couple of weeks ago I produced a video with the Phoenix A320 flying it into Lukla, and many of you asked me if I could do the same featuring the PNG 737. The answer is yes, so here we are. Let's hop right into the cockpit and have a little bit of fun. Now, you can see I've already inhibited the GPWS so that we don't get any spurious alerts there. Chances are we're still going to get some, but you get where I'm going with this. Apart from that, not too much of a setup actually. We got 5,000 pounds of fuel in here, no passengers, no nothing, to keep the airplane as light as possible. And I didn't even bother putting in any takeoff speeds because we are going to fly the airplane purely based on the angle of attack anyway. So that much is our basic setup. I did prepare a little landing speed over there so that we do have an approach speed. Chances are we are going to fly slower though. Okay, basic good weather conditions over here so that we can actually see the runway. For some reason, if I turn my simulator over to real weather, then regardless of what the temperature actually is, what the weather conditions are, it's always giving me nighttime condition, which makes it very hard to actually fly this more or less correctly. So let's just turn the weather off and keep it at good weather. Okay then, I think that's pretty much all the setup we need to think about, so let's go ahead and give this one a try. Obviously we are going to keep the brakes on as we are running the engines up. So gotta make sure that the park and brake actually releases there, and take off. So we might just about use the end of the runway like a little catapult there in order to bring us up into the air. But we are accelerating pretty nicely over here, so, and off we go.
Sync rate. Pull up.
And we're airborne. Okay. Positive climb, gear up. And we'll fly right into the valley. So just like in the previous video featuring the Phoenix, we are going to do a little procedure turn here in order to make our way through the valleys. We can maintain an altitude of some 11,000 feet or so. So back down to about 60% N1, that should be all we need. Once we've leveled off. Okay. Excellent. So now let's go ahead and set the heading of 190 degrees over here so that we know where we can base our procedure turn upon. 10,600 looks okay to me. So, starting the left turn, we're going 80 degrees to the left, and then we'll do 260 degrees to the right. All of that with roughly 25 degrees angle of bank. The altitude varies a little bit, that's not too much of a thing. The important thing here is that our airspeed remains where it is supposed to be so that we don't invalidate the maneuver over here. Okay then, so that's about 80 degrees, turning back to the right. So now a 260 degree turn to the right, and then we should more or less end up exactly where we started. Once we're inbound on the valley, we are going to start configuring the airplane so that we arrive with flaps 40 pretty much by the time we make it to the runway. Apart from that, auto brake max is certainly going to be needed. We'll arm the speed brakes already. And as mentioned, we have turned off the GPWS. Okay, so as you can see, I just kept the flaps out here because, well, why do too much configuration? 180 knots, flaps 5, works fine. So the challenge this time is going to be to make it a little bit softer than we did it with the A320. I mean, these are potential Ryanair aircraft, so they can take that beating, but nonetheless we don't have to force it, do we? Alright, so this is the valley we are going into. And it looks to me like our turn is working out pretty much well. Down there is Lukla. On that little plateau over there. So runway elevation is roughly 9,200, 9,100 feet, something in that area. Okay, so gear down, flaps 15. And here we come. So, runway is located just over there. That's probably off scheduled descent. Yes, it is. We can ignore that. All it tells us is that the airplane is bringing the cabin elevation back to the airfield elevation, which is basically exactly what we want anyway. Okay, flaps 30.
2,500.
Checked. And flaps 40. Speed is coming back, looking at an approach speed of 114. We'll see about any correction. I haven't decided on that topic yet. Probably we are actually going to fly a little bit slower even, because we can easily fly it into the lower amber band. That should provide for a little bit less of a landing distance. So we're entering the turbulent area. That's the one where Microsoft Flight Simulator decides to have wind even though we have a no weather scenario. Okay, gotta maintain the runway inside over here. And then we can start our final turn. So now comes the challenge of not falling for the optical illusion. We're just 300 feet above the runway elevation, approximately a mile out, so we are looking pretty good. 130 knots ground speed, so we've got to keep a rate of descent here of roughly 700 feet a minute. Still 200 feet to lose. Okay, there is no way out of this anyway, so let's go ahead and start reducing our airspeed.
500. 400.
Okay,
200,
idle.
100.
Flare.
20.
Okay, here we go, my friends. Even a little bit less landing distance than the A320 used. And as mentioned, former Ryanair aircraft, this thing can take the beating. Okay, here we are. Welcome to Lukla Airport, my friends. I do hope you enjoyed this little fun one. Do let me know in the comments below, and well, then I would like to say thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, if you're up for more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And finally, if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.